From bad bleach jobs, caked on makeup, and wigs running away from hairlines, to resentment, insecurity, and self-delusion, Wendy Osefo and her mother just put on one of the most humiliating displays ever seen, all for an RHOP check. And in the midst of being trash talked by her own mother on national TV, Wendy's mommy issues came screaming to the front as the possible root of the insecurities that have been instrumental in some of the worst decisions that Wendy has ever made.
I could not believe what I was hearing. When these two went at each other like that, I said, oh, that's where that comes from, with Wendy always bragging about her degrees and always feeling and looking so uptight about things.
Yeah.
Her mother has been in her ear. Her mother has been on her mind. Her mother has been the one who's made her think some sort of way concerning herself, because when I saw that display on her mother's part and what she said to her, I say, oh my goodness, I was totally taken aback by this behavior.
Yeah.
And I said, this is one of the reasons that Wendy tried to bring her father into the conversation, because she wanted to get back at her mother.
Yeah, it was tit for tat because of the expectations that Wendy's mother has placed on her, I guess, from the beginning, since growing up. Wendy wrote a book a while back. I forget the name of it. It was something about tears from her mother or something like that. And she was basically talking about the relationship that she had growing up with her mother, and, you know, how she was trying to treat her children differently, and how it was creating some sort of disagreements between them.
Right.
Because Wendy felt that growing up in that particular culture, she was only loved or appreciated or shown attention based on her achievements.
Right.
And she is now trying to raise her children differently, where they just have all that love, attention, regardless of what their achievements are.
Exactly.
And so her mother, of course, had some kind of feelings about that. But that's the thing. You can see that right now. And every time we see any sort of interaction between Wendy and her mother, it's based on, what Wendy is doing for the mother, or how Wendy's accomplishments are reflecting on the mother.
Yes.
Remember when she wanted to quit being a professor way back,
right.
a few years ago.
Right.
Now, this girl had everything going for her as far as she could make a career change if she wanted to. She had a husband who was working as a lawyer. She was on a nationally syndicated television show. She had a guest spot as a commentator on these national news networks.
Yeah.
And so it should have been a no-brainer for her to be able to, I want to take a back seat, put this professorship away for a while. But because of the expectations of her mother, it was basically something that caused her so much stress. She was crashing out back then over how she was going to tell her mother that she was quitting her professorship job. And then the way her mother came out of a bag on her back then about, oh, you going to quit this, and all that stuff.
Wow.
And it came to light. Wendy has been funding her mother's lifestyle.
I saw that.
Yeah. And that was another thing, because this whole father issue, it popped up on last week's episode too, where Wendy had taken her kids, to Nigeria.
Oh, yeah.
She had expected that she was going to meet up with her father, who had never even met the children.
Never.
And she herself hasn't seen him, I think she said, for over 20 years.
Right.
And the backstory behind that is, he left when they were little.
Yeah.
And the mother had to raise them by herself, working all these jobs. He left, never gave any support, never protected them, none of that. And now here he comes back as Wendy is famous.
Yeah, and quite naturally her mother's upset.
Exactly. So Wendy was trying to entertain having a relationship with him, and he didn't even bother to show up when she went across the world to visit him.
That's right.
And so she was talking about how disappointed she was that he didn't even show up to not only not see her, but to meet his grandchildren. Mm-hmm. And the mother comes in and she ends up talking about how, he's just miserable. And he basically just wants in on her success now because, she and her sister are so successful, and they're rich, they have all this. And the mother stands up and is like, but I get to benefit from all your money. I get to, use your money because look at her now.
Yeah.
And, for everybody who has seen her before, like 2-3 years before, she looks completely different.
She didn't look like that.
completely different.
Let's just say completely different.
It's like when you show a picture of the before and after,
right?
It's giving purple. Who is this woman? And that is what she's been basically using Wendy's money to, live the lifestyle that she has become accustomed to.
And she's bragged about it.
Exactly. She keeps bragging about it. And it was so funny because when she said that and she walked away and started prancing away in her knockoff designer outfits and bags and everything, Real Housewives ended up playing a clip that showed that Wendy had been giving her an allowance.
Oh.
And it's very interesting because it happened around May of 2024, this clip. They showed Wendy and her family sitting, having a dinner, celebrating the graduation of her kids. And she started talking about her birthday party. Wendy's birthday is in May. So she was talking about her birthday party that was coming up and how, it was going to be wonderful and she wanted everybody to wear all white. Her mother goes, she might just show up in something other than white. Ooh. And Wendy's like, please don't do that. Because, Wendy was going to wear something other than white to the all white party because it was her birthday party. But anyway, Eddie ends up going, babe, I know we talked about this, but this has gone from an idea to being like a second wedding.
Yeah.
So, Eddie is looking at the cost of this thing now. Of
course he is.
Now, again, get this. This is in May of 2024. So when Eddie brings up the idea of, this is like a second wedding now, so talking about cost, Wendy's mother goes, so is that why she didn't get her allowance this month yet? Ooh. And it was like, whoa. And Wendy's like, her mother doesn't care what her expenses are or what anything is. She wants her allowance and she will never not want her allowance. So they end up showing Wendy Venmo and her mother like $500 or something as an allowance. And we know that basically that's just probably play money because they're paying the expenses probably for her house or whatever, wherever she lives and things like that, right? So they showed that she is given this allowance. But the thing about this is Wendy ends up going, here she is spending $50,000 to $60,000 on the birthday party. And now she has to give this on top of that, give $500 on top of that. And again, it was in May of 2024. And you know what happened the month prior?
Yep.
April of 2024 was when she reported
that
right. Whole
insurance situation.
Exactly. She reported that and it's the thing that's got her wrapped up in this thing right now.
Oh my goodness. This is so amazing because I'm wondering now if these issues started with her mom after the mom saw her trying to make connection with the father, because what happened that she would continue to rail on this girl about whether or not she stays in the professorship and what she's doing with her life. What happened there to make this lady, I would say, be in fear, some sort of fear that Wendy was going to turn her back on her or something? Because now I can understandably see why the mother got upset in this last episode with Wendy bringing this man up. Right. And this mother still has some hurt feelings regarding that. I could see that, and it's like, why are you trying to make this man be something other than what he was to you or to me. When he left her and the children.
Exactly.
So the mother, I can understand her coming from that angle of it. And I want to know, though, when did that start? Did Wendy say anything prior to this? Because for her mother to be so, I would say so stringent on her with her professorship and with the way she does things, that's my question.
Well, a lot of people were saying it's kind of probably because she thinks that Wendy may start giving him money or doling out money to him too. A lot of people were saying that. I mean, and that could possibly be the case too. It could be an issue about the money. And then again, like you were talking about, the hurt she feels because this man basically abandoned her and the children, and yet here Wendy is taking up for him.
Yes.
And it was very interesting because when they had come over to finally see the house, so Wendy had invited her mother and her sister over to see the renovations had finally been completed on her and Eddie's house.
Yeah.
And so she was giving them the tour, showing them everything, and then Wendy ended up saying, they were just basically talking about all the things that had been done on the house. This beautiful kitchen with the waterfall islands, all that stuff.
Yeah, it was
gorgeous
beautiful.
looking.
It was beautiful.
Gorgeous. And that's one of the things they were talking about,
Yeah.
how they spent all this money on renovations. I think they said it was like over $400,000 or something on renovating that house.
Yeah.
But so they were talking about that, and then Wendy had I think she had catered some food for her mother and her sister and them to enjoy while they were doing this tour. And then her mother, as she's, Wendy's making her plate, her mother's leaning over and was like, all this must be expensive, like that. Ooh. And then Wendy's like, what, eating out all the time? Or you talking about the renovations? But before Wendy even responded more to that, Wendy immediately goes, so she called her dad like that, and it was so out of the blue, like, what? Where did that, how did the conversation shift to that? That, like you said, she was basically doing a tit for tat, getting back at her mother. Because here her mother is now looking at her, talking about her finances.
Right.
So this is another thing, like, what are you trying to suggest? Are you acting like she can't spend this on her own house because more money should have been going to her? Like, what was that coming from? Why are you pocket watching Wendy? Is basically how Wendy was like, what you mean like that?
Right.
And then so Wendy goes, oh, well, since you're going to try to hit her where it hurts in a sense like that, well, how about I talk to the man who left her and didn't want nothing to do with her?
Girl, that's what that seemed like. That's exactly what that seemed like, because the people were in the comments saying, Wendy girl, that man is not into you. Did you see that response that he gave her over that phone? It's like so glib,
dismissive.
So dry, so dismissive. So you would have to think that, okay, she's not feeling this way about her mother right now, so she's trying to reach out to this man that was never there for them, according to her mother.
Exactly.
He left them.
Exactly.
So the people in the comments were like, Wendy, this is ridiculous. Why are you doing this? Are you doing this just to get back at your mom? And so it seemed, because look at the confrontation that was going on between these two.
Yeah.
And that's when Wendy interjected that about the father.
Yeah.
And that sent the mother into a whirlwind.
Right. And it's so crazy, like you said, because he was super dismissive in that phone call.
He was.
And so, because she ended up confronting him about not being there when they went all the way over to Nigeria, expecting to see him. She was like, oh, she expected, and he's talking about, don't worry over spilt milk or something like that.
I said, what is
Let's
that?
not dwell on the past. And when she was saying, oh, I really wanted to see you, he's like, yeah. Just one word responses, or just dismissive, completely dismissive.
It was as if he was like, I got nothing for you.
Exactly.
I got nothing for you. I'm like, girl, Wendy.
And then to show you, because you would wonder, well, why is he even talking to her? Why has he gotten this connection, reached out or anything? And then he goes, where's Eddie? Bring Eddie out. So you know that that's a catchphrase from the show.
Yes.
Which lets you know, oh, he's been watching the show.
That's right.
And he let her do like a FaceTime so he could be on camera. So now we know what this man looks like because he was on camera with doing a FaceTime call with her. So he had time for that and time to recite the little one-liners from the show, bring Eddie out. But he didn't have time to meet his daughter and grandkids when they came all the way over to Nigeria.
Girl, that was too much.
It was too much. So that same dismissive type of attitude that he gave her, Wendy seemed to take over, went to the conversation with her mother when she saw her next.
Yes.
Because she brought that out doing that whole tit for tat thing.
Yes, she did.
And the mother says, why are you trying to spare this man like this? This is basically just a DNA donor.
Yep. That's what she said.
And so Wendy immediately she's like, you stop, because the kids are down there. Yeah. They were listening to the conversations. I do understand, she not wanting her kids to be involved in all this, having all these issues like that. So she basically was telling her mama to, simmer down, wait, let me get the kids out of here so they can go upstairs and not be involved in this.
Exactly.
And the mother got so mad and incensed.
Oh my goodness.
And she ended up saying, how are you gonna be protecting this man's reputation to kids who he's never even seen? Because when he was like, that is their grandfather,
I'm like,
he won't even take the time to meet them. So she was being really dismissive of the hurt and the things that her mother had gone through.
Yes, she was.
Trying to raise them on her own.
Yes, she was.
Without any support or help. Not to mention, she ended up, telling him, okay, I see what you're doing. You have your moment. You're trying to, I see, just walking away from her mother. Just all the very disrespectful things.
Very much so.
Which we already know Wendy's mother is, she's a piece of work.
Yes, she is.
And so that, brought out the feisty in her mother. And this was so horrible because for this woman who's always, hey, Holy Ghost fire and all that stuff.
Yes.
And, then she ends up trash talking her daughter. She was dropping the F word, telling her F whatever.
I couldn't believe that. I couldn't believe that.
Just yelling at her because Wendy is seemingly trying to have a relationship with this man. And she ended up saying, saying she had an attention-seeking disorder. Oh,
that's right.
Which she does.
That's right.
Because that Wendy does want attention. She was talking about how, she just loves having everybody celebrate her when she was talking about her birthday party and all that. So she was saying all this stuff. She said, why don't you just go and kiss his Aiden?
Ooh.
Just super disrespectful.
It was totally just distasteful. And I'm like, y'all, please, it does not have to go this far. Don't be doing all this stuff for this check.
Exactly, because that's what it's like with the way her mother's always studying for the camera, trying to act like she's so, poised and proper, and they're
I'm like,
just successful. 4 degrees, and we professional.
Are you kidding me?
And here she come acting
with
like this
with the F-bomb.
Yes, and you saw the way she was put together. Her appearance wasn't given.
Yes,
put together and professional, basically.
And Wendy, just at that point, Wendy could not take it anymore.
Exactly.
This girl broke down and just cried. And Eddie came over there and said he cares about her.
Right. It was beautiful the way he did that and comforted his wife and everything. And it's like, because the sister was taking the mother's side throughout all of it.
Yes.
And so for Wendy's mother to come into her house and disrespect Wendy like that. Wendy, like you said, she broke down and she ended up saying, it's always 2 against 1. Like she's always by herself when it comes to that. And she said, and that's why she was hoping for a relationship with her dad. Because maybe it wouldn't be 2 against 1 anymore.
Wow.
And it was so sad because here she is hoping for some sort of relationship with a man who couldn't care less.
I'm telling you,
shown it.
That attitude on that phone, I'm like, who is this?
Yeah, just so she can have, somebody to stand up against her mother with her. And she said that, she decided that she was going to have to put aside her expectations of what she hoped for in a father-daughter relationship so that she wouldn't be disappointed. So it's just already showing you that this man is not going to be what she hopes for him to be. And it's all so she can keep an attachment to a man who does not care.
And it's all because of the mommy issues. We have seen it. We have tried to have a better thought concerning it, but it showed itself in full out mode on this last episode. I could not believe what I was hearing. And these mommy issues, I tell you, it crosses the surface of so many relationships in entertainment and outside of entertainment. And it is something that only prayer and relationship with God will fix.
Period.
That's it. That's all.
All right, let us know what you guys think in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.